howling for you.
And away we go!
Thank you for joining us for another edition of WolfcastTV. I'm one of your hosts, Dario.
And I'm your other host, Chris.
Winter is coming.
Actually, that's really cool.
Winter is coming.
You like it?
How's the reception?
It's pretty good.
Winter's
Find
coming.
anything you like?
Winter
No.
is coming.
Don't like this?
Don't like that.
Winter is coming.
Lana.
Any better?
Lana!
I really like that episode.
Danger zone.
Enough.
Get back to the game.
Thank you.
Well, sadly, we have to get back to the game, and sadly, it wasn't a very good game to get to, not from the Wolfpack's perspective. They wound up losing 47-16.
Oh, wait. Sorry, before we get into the game, I believe there was a query from Genghis Campbell. So to answer your question, at least that's what I'm sticking with.
Not much of an answer, is it? But
It's the explanation I'm providing.
we'll go with that. But as I was saying, it was not a great game from the Wolfpack. They wound up losing 47-16 to the league-leading London Broncos. And Chris, if you were to summarize the thoughts in the game in one sentence, what would it be?
Holy mother forking shirt balls.
Oh! I thought we were. This is a kid show. I didn't think I was going to use the word shirt balls.
It's edited, it's limited, it's family friendly.
And now you got me saying it. But I have to agree, it really wasn't pretty.
No, it being London, being the Broncos, knowing a little bit about them now as we get into it, I wasn't expecting a victory. I don't like to say it, but realistically, it wasn't going to happen. You've got a championship team that was, I think, one team away from promotion last year. So you got Toronto coming in with a 2-win, 1-draw record, and London 3-0 prior, 4-0 this game. They're phenomenal. They're a strong team. I was so impressed with everything I saw in that game. The kicking, the strength. They have players with phenomenal speed.
Exactly. I mean, that's full credit to the London Broncos. It was, despite being the Wolfpack being on the receiving end of, I guess these all of the other fans from last year must have felt like, right? But
Wait, we're on the losing side. Something's wrong.
But credit to their leader, Samet. I mean, his kicking game was spot on.
7 for 8.
Oh, jeez. And
Somewhere there?
Playing with the wind, and even not just the conversions, but those little grubber and those strong kicks as well, to perfection.
And the one that he missed was not far off.
No. And you're looking at the way they moved the ball, not only north-south with the speed that you said, but when they started, they got to the wings really, really fast. And it just seemed that Toronto was always a bit of a step behind there, unfortunately.
And 2 of Toronto's kickoffs after the try scored, you would see them. What are they doing? They kick it high, and it would just pass the 10-yard line, fall back in, and they caught one of them, and the other team caught the other one. But it's a hell of a strategy.
I was surprised about that when you bring that up, because I remember it was against the Coventry game last year where Coach Paul Raleigh was complaining that the Bears were trying to do that against them and saying, we don't play that way, but
We have to.
necessity is the mother of invention, right? You just need to do what you have to do.
The things they did in this game, they didn't need to do last year.
Right.
Because any mistakes that they made were immediately capitalized by London. There were a couple of knock-ons, a couple of passes that were a little too high, and London was right there. Players jumping on it. Toronto's defense was stronger than I thought it would be. They held London at the line a couple times.
They did. That's after still giving
Not
up
enough
27
times.
points. I mean, a lot of it was at the end there where I think they mailed it in the last 5-6 minutes. But I look at it in the same thing. The mistakes are made, and not one mistake cost them the game. There was a QLT.
Yes.
You had said earlier, had a couple. Briley, unfortunately, with a couple of bounces going away. But again, that kick that he made, which was stuff.
The 2 instances I remember, Briley had a pass from, I think, Whiting, maybe, and the pass was just up by his shoulder. So
I think that was QLT to Whiting. Yeah.
The one kick that was made, and it bounced in front of Briley, and it took a bounce straight backwards. So it went right. He's running full tilt, and the ball bounces right past him. If he had caught that, that would have been a play of the year.
It would have been a nice,
right? But, you know, you suffer with what happens. And what you said earlier, too, I mean, I mentioned it from the last game that QLT, he doesn't seem to be all there. In the game, there's something, I don't know if he's injured or if something else is going on, but something is not right with him. And I've seen it for a little bit, and I don't know what it is. I want to see him get back to his ideal performance level, because he's phenomenal, returning the kicks, getting everything going, but something's amiss.
And I think it goes a bit more than just QLT, like I said.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the loss is on him, but the entire team. Too many mistakes, too many, like I said, knock-ons and so on and so forth.
Some bad calls,
bad thinking in terms of the game. The way I look at it, this is still a team, not a young team in the sense it's only been a year and a bit together, but they've had a horrible offseason. Johnny Parnell came out for the first time.
Yeah.
He's still getting in there. This was Ashton Sims, his second game. And, you know, you didn't hear their names throughout the broadcast being called enough.
Yeah.
You know, I thought in terms of Worthington, you hardly heard a name. I think it was on there. So I still think this team needs to find itself. I can't wait right now. June 9th is marked on my calendar when the Broncos come to Toronto. And it's not so much in terms of like the home field advantage, but I want to see this Toronto team grow together. And I think that's going to be the strength. At the end of the day, they're still in the top half of the table and still in a good position to, you know, move forward into the as they get closer to the Super 8s later on.
Now, I know also it was Rawsthorne was out with a concussion. He was going through the concussion.
Not my fault. Just because I said nice things about him, not my fault. Not my fault.
Who got injured last week? Corey Patterson, and I believe you had also mentioned something about liking him as well. So I don't know what's going on. So can you just hate the rest of the Toronto team?
I hate everybody, and I hate you most of all. I like you, Chris. I mean, I really, really like you.
Yeah, that doesn't promise to bode well for me.
Well, but no, I said it was a bad week. That's what it was, I think. But you know what? It's only one game. And they need to pick up, and I expect next week when they play the Swinton Lions, I believe, that they'll rebound back. I mean, last week there was London Broncos against Featherstone for the top of the table clash, and Featherstone bounced back nicely. But that will lead into our Champions recap, which is coming up now.
And before we get to that, with all reality, they're two wins, one loss, and a draw. With 4 games.
Horrible.
So the season's over. Might as well just stop watching.
Remember
rugby.
last year how we just read? Let's get on to the Champions.
We shall get to the Leigh and Toulouse game that you're currently seeing in a few moments, but first let's recap all the other games that happened in Championship for Round 4. We'll start off with Barrow visiting Batley, where they got off to a tremendous start, having scored 12 points in the first 10 minutes. Unfortunately, the remaining 70 minutes were not so good, as Batley wound up winning 32-12. We move on to Featherstone Rovers, who bounced back after their loss to the London Broncos last week by shooting down the Eagles 58-14, handing Sheffield their 4th loss of the season. They're now 0-4. Dewsbury Rams were not very pleasant hosts, as they won convincingly over the Swinton Lions 20-0. Swinton 0-3. And the other game that happened this past weekend was Halifax visiting Rochdale. Now, despite by trailing of scores of 8-0 and 14-6, Halifax scored 20 straight points in the second half to beat Rochdale 26-20, giving them an 0-2 start to the season. If you have been following along, you notice that Toulouse did open the scoring, but Leigh has been mounting a comeback. Not only did they score one to make it 6-4, but they just over a year from Leigh and Hood scored to make it 10-6. That didn't stop the Centurions. They were still on the move, and they tried to make a little sloppy play going on over here. Leigh would pick up the ball, and a nice little passing play to ensure that Leigh does go on to score, now making it 14-6 for Matthew Dawson. Now, there's a strange little play over here. You notice, bang! Big hit there. Unfortunately, it was to the head, and that meant that Eddie Pettibone did get suspended, red card out of the game. Centurions obviously fully capitalized, taking it 20-6 into the second half. But Toulouse on a nice little back over here, and Marguerite goes in for the try, bringing it closer 20-10. As the game continues, Toulouse still trying to come back and manage to score, bringing it closer to 20-16. But Leigh's not done yet. They're running close to the line, back and forth. Here we go, and boom, a nice try off the camera angle. But Leigh Centurions do score, making it 26-16. Running out of time in the last 10 minutes of the game, Toulouse scrambling to try and make a comeback. A little blurry there on the focus, but that's a nice try. 26-22. Toulouse are back at it again, trying to get through, seeing if they can get that game-winning try down a man. And lo and behold, look that they are. They get through, making it 26-26. Big kicking up here. And wide left. So unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a draw, but what? More action going on? No, it can't possibly be. But yes, Toulouse marched down that field, and in almost the last minute of the game, managed to pull off the extra try and the kick. 32-26 is your final. Now moving on to games from next week in round 5 on March 2nd. Swinton Lions host the Wolfpack. Toulouse hosts Rochdale, which is a day earlier. Barrow Raiders, Dewsbury. Bally Bulldogs host Halifax. London Broncos, first place, travel to last place Sheffield Eagles. And Leigh Centurions host the Featherstone Rovers. That's all for now. Enjoy next week's games.
That's all, folks.
Howling for you.